The headlines. Federal government, the governors consider creation of state police to tackle rising insecurity. Nigeria's headline inflation reaches 29.90% amid rising costs of living. Weeks after CBN and FAN relocation, Petroleum Commission comes or moves to transfer departments to Lagos. And on the foreign scene, mortar bomb kills 2, injures 3 South African soldiers in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us and the details. The federal government is discussing modalities of setting up state police with the state governors and governments in a bid to arrest the insecurity in the country. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, revealed this to newsmen at State House Abuja after a meeting between the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the 36 state governors. Kainde Amadu reports.
2 issues have dominated these discussions: harmonizing tactics to arrest the spiraling insecurity across the country and strategies to crash the price of food items. Despite evidence to the contrary, Minister of Information says the President and state governors agree that there is a significant improvement in the security situation around the country.
The governors, including the governor of Plateau State, has also attested to the fact that despite all the challenges that we are having, there appears to be improvement in security in these areas. Of course, like I said, the situation has not been completely been solved. The security situation has not been completely solved, but we are seeing a positive movement towards a secure Nigeria.
But the level of insecurity is serious enough for the federal government to significantly shift its stand on state police.
This is still going to be further discussed. A lot of work has to be done in that direction, but both the federal government and the state governments are agreeing to the necessity of having state police. Now, this is a significant shift, but like I said, more work needs to be done in that direction.
But the government's biggest headache right now is the staggering prices of food. To this end, the National Security Advisor, the Director General of State Services, and the Inspector General of Police have been directed to coordinate with state governors to fish out those hoarding commodities. Despite the seriousness of the situation, the agreement at this meeting is that there will be no need for food importation at this point.
Nigeria has the potential to feed itself and even be a next exporter of food items to other countries. And we do not also want to reverse some of the progress we have seen in terms of food production in this country. What we are seeing now is just a temporary difficulty that will soon go away.
A lot of meetings will have to happen between the federal government and the subnationals to perfect the modalities of achieving state police. In addition to this, parties have agreed to set up a joint program to ensure that unemployment is reduced among the youth population to reduce insecurity at the roots. From State House Abuja, Kainde Amodu, Trust TV News.
The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, says Nigeria's headline inflation rose to 29.90% in the month of January. A report by the NBS stated that the January 2024 headline inflation rate showed an increase of 0.98% points when compared to the 28.92% in December 2023, which broke a 20-year record high. The NBS said January's inflation was caused by increases in prices of bread and cereals, potatoes, yam and other tubers, oil and fat, fish, meat, fruit, coffee, tea and cocoa. The report also stated that food inflation increased by 35.41% on a year-on-year basis, which was 11.10% points higher when compared to the rate recorded in January 2023, 24.32%. It added that the highest increases were recorded in prices of passenger transport by road, medical services, actual and imputed rentals for housing, pharmaceutical products, accommodation, service, and passengers transport by air. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission is currently considering relocating some of its units to Lagos. According to a memo dated February 14, 2024, the decision was to enhance its services delivery, reduce also operational costs, and make adequate utilization of its assets in Lagos. The memo was signed by Kelechi Oyekachi Ofoegbu on behalf of the Commission. The development comes on the heels of the recent relocation of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, the FAN, headquarters to Lagos. The federal government has discontinued the trial of the presidential candidates of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, and his co-defendant, Olawale Bakare, also known as Mandate. The decision to discontinue the trial was communicated to the Federal High Court in Abuja via a notice of discontinuance dated February 14th, but filed the next day by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi. The notice indicates that the move is pursuant to Section 174, subsection 1C of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, and Section 107, subsection 1 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015. Sowore and Bakare were arraigned before the Federal High Court Abuja in 2019 following a protest rally that he staged in Abuja tagged Revolution Now. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court Abuja had earlier threatened to strike out the treason charge filed against him if the Nigerian government was not ready to go on with the case 5 years later. In a press conference held in Abuja on Thursday, presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, alongside his crowdfunding management team, refuted allegations of misappropriation of campaign funds. Obi emphasized transparency and accountability by announcing the engagement of a reputable audit firm to investigate any claims of misappropriation, ensuring the proper utilization of the funds raised. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Embattled National Chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, was recently accused of diverting and mismanaging campaign funds for the 2023 presidential election. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, was also accused of misappropriating the sum of 3.5 billion naira donated for the campaign. The currently credibility and integrity crisis in the party has engulfed key players, including the team lead for the campaign crowdfunding, Aisha Yusufu. To set the record straight, the allegations diminishing the Labour Party's reputation. The Peter Obi presidential campaign team is now opening its books to the public as a transparency measure to address unverified allegations.
In fact, one of the people who mentioned said we received about $150 million. Let me categorically state it that all the funds received directly or indirectly from diaspora is not up to one. It's about not up to 1% of what is mentioned, and this, some of it are part of what has been exchanged and given to Aisha.
As they roll out figures of the money generated for the campaign, the crowdfunding team also provided lines of procurement and other expenditures.
What we received specifically was this particular amount, 500, and let me repeat it once again, 595 million naira, 976,000 naira, 994 naira. We also received 800 million naira from the candidate himself. And I know some might wonder, how did we know that these monies were from the candidate? How were we able to differentiate them? These were monies that were put in by the candidate that were supposed to be used to pay for the polling agents. So we knew that they came in 4 trenches of 200 million naira each, and that was what gave the total of 800 million naira from the candidate.
We also adopted a framework to ensure disbursed funds were used judiciously. Very important. We want to ensure that when we give resources to vendors, people who worked on the project, that they use these funds judiciously. We adopted that process. Then fund disbursements were made with approval from His Excellency and told our signatories to provide constant oversight. So whatever decision we took in terms of disbursing funds, we are made with the full acknowledgement of His Excellency and also signatories to the account. So no funds left the account without the approval of His Excellency.
The Labour Party has been embroiled in a series of controversies since its outing in the 2023 elections. Its power struggle from within the party led to factionalization of its leadership structure. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The police command in Gombe State says the mobile police barracks located at 34 PMF Squadron along Kwame Town has been razed by fire. The commanding officer, Federal Fire Service, Gombe State, and Deputy Controller of Fire, Ayuba Jonah Suli, said the incident occurred on Thursday. Jonah Suli said the entire buildings, which housed an armory and other offices, were affected, leading to estimated loss of 100 million naira. This incident is coming barely a week after the state's governor, Muhammad Yahya, approved the release of 5 million naira to support victims of a fire incident at Blacksmith Makera shops in Gombe Main Market. There is a growing concern over rampant cases of sexual and gender-based violence against girls and women with disabilities in Osun State. This has prompted the setting up of a task force comprising key stakeholders in the state to ensure arrest of prosecution of perpetrators. Hamid Oyegbade files in the report.
The issue of sexual and gender-based violence against girls and women with disabilities in Osun State is disheartening. It is worrisome that most of such cases were not reported and perpetrators are allowed to go unpunished while the helpless victims grapple with the consequences.
Because of our condition, they can go to that place to do so many things that is not good to person with disability, which is not okay.
Key stakeholders in the state have resolved to work together to strengthen the existing sexual and gender-based violence prevention and response structure for women and girls with disabilities.
One is increased awareness so that there's prevention and less occurrences of abuses, the different forms of abuses. Now the focus, like I said, is also on women and girls with disabilities. The second thing is to try to strengthen the institutional framework, coordination and collaboration, so that the response system, which can also serve as a preventive system, is effective.
You know, most of this violence takes place at the community level, sometimes intimate partner violence and all that. So individual taking it upon themselves to be like watchdog to persons with disabilities at the community level, it will go a long way.
This government takes zero tolerance to crime, especially sexual crime or violence against female. So we take strict exceptions to it. So everything we need to do just to make Osun to be a safer place for everybody, we're going to, keen to same.
Officials of the Osun State Ministry of Justice, Women Affairs and Health, Police and Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, civil societies and community leaders, after a town hall meeting in Osogbo, set up a task force to ensure arrest and prosecution of perpetrators. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, We will take a look at how polythene bags vendor combines trade and vigilante role. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
Helter Skelter. Under cover of darkness or even in broad daylight, bandits and kidnappers have been wreaking havoc in the lives of some Kaduna residents.
We don't sleep. Sometimes we run and hide in a uncompleted or they used to pursue us.
Unlike some regions, the lack of a designated IDP camp in Kaduna State leaves affected communities without government support.
I don't have any information reaching me that there are particular uncompleted structures were occupied by people that are migrated from areas that are bedeviled by the security issues.
What are the efforts of the government amidst this troubled state?
For obvious security reasons, we cannot be able to give you details blow by blow.
This is a story about the people chased away from their homes by bandits and kidnappers in Kaduna State and what the government is doing to address the humanitarian crisis.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Trust News Update. Here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you the federal governors consider creation of state police to tackle rising insecurity. In weeks after CBN and FAN relocation, Petroleum Commission moves to transfer department to Lagos. Moving on to health matters. The Oyo State government has shut down 6 health facilities due to quackery. The government, in a statement made available to journalists on Thursday, stated that the affected facilities were sealed due to various offenses, including the recruitment of unqualified personnel to provide medical services and engagement in illicit practices. The affected health facilities, according to the statement, include New Jobi Memorial Hospital, Omolara Clinic and Maternity Home, Amazing Grace Medical Clinic, Emiloju Clinic and Maternity Center, Safeway Clinic, and Emilagba Clinic and Maternity Center. Chairman of the State Anti-Quackery Task Force Committee, Adekunle Aremu, also stated that the team conducted the operation to safeguard the health and well-being of residents as part of the government's effort. He emphasized that anyone found guilty would be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The state government earlier sealed off 2 private hospitals in Oyo town, restating its determination to ensure that there is no room for quackery and other illegalities in the state. The need to promote the importance of blood donation and its role in saving lives has been described as a collective responsibility for all. The stakeholders at a recent event in Lagos said that sustained advocacy for increased blood donation will reduce cases of fatalities among patients requiring blood transfusion. The report.
According to stakeholders, the act of blood donation should not be limited to the annual World Blood Day, but should be embraced as a routine commitment to saving lives.
The selling of blood be a thing of forgotten in our country. We know that the health sector is not working well, the education sector is not working well, but the little we can actually do as an individual, do your part and just leave the rest.
It's safe to donate twice a year. And if not twice a year, you can donate once a year. It's not only on World Blood Donation Day. You can donate in as much as you are healthy and you are nowhere found with any of the blood diseases.
Several youth who turned out to donate blood highlighted the community's engagement in this life-saving endeavor.
Blood is very good to me personally. I find it very easy to do that anytime let me say 3 months if I'm chance.
Stakeholders and medical professionals believe that if the Nigerian populace mobilizes en masse to donate blood, it will significantly contribute to saving the lives of individuals in need, particularly those battling leukemia.
Away from health matters, seasonal migration in northern Nigeria, which involves the movement of people to various urban centers for greener pastures, has remained a tradition among many in the region. The tradition, which is popularly known as Chirani in the Hausa community, makes many people settle permanently in their destination. But some of the migrants, like Omar Garba, who is a polythene bags vendor in Gombe State, are still going back to their village in Sokoto, where he is serving as vigilante to protect his people against bandit attack. Hassan Koli reports.
As a polythene bags vendor, Umar Garba, a seasonal migrant from Gaukai Ward of Salami local government area of Sokoto State, is making a living in Gombe. Like most seasonal migrants, 37-year-old Umar said he is coming to Gombe during the dry season to earn a means of livelihood, as there is little or nothing to do in his community during this period of the year. I am a polythene bags vendor. When I come here and transact, I will be able to take care of myself while still sending money for my family too. While distributing polythene bags to small business owners and individuals, Umar is visiting his town occasionally, serving his community as vigilante to protect their village against bandits' attack. I have to go back home on several occasions for farming and most importantly, to protect my village against bandits because we are facing security issues and we must protect ourselves. The government cannot do anything to protect us as it has many issues to deal with. Like many others, Umar's journey began in search of employment opportunities, often traveling long distances to find work during dry seasons. In a world of constant change and uncertainty, Umar's story serves as a reminder of the resilience found in the human spirit. Hassan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has stopped international oil companies from repatriating 100% foreign exchange proceeds to their mother companies overseas at once. The Apex Bank said international oil companies can repatriate 50% of their proceeds in the first instance and then the other half after 90 days. The Director of Trade and Exchange Department at the Apex Bank, Hassan Mahmoud, made this known in a circular dated February 14, 2024. The CBN said it observed that proceeds of crude oil exports by international oil companies, the IOCs, operating in Nigeria, are transferred offshore to fund parent accounts on the IOCs, describing the action as crash or cash pooling. From the foreign scene, the South African military on Thursday said 2 of its soldiers were killed and 3 wounded when a mortar bomb landed inside a military base in Democratic Republic of Congo, where its troops are helping to fight armed groups. South Africa said earlier this week that it would send 2,900 troops as part of its contribution to a force deployed by Southern African Regional Bloc to help Congo address deteriorating security in the restive eastern region. The South African National Defense Force said in a statement posted on X that the mortar bomb landed inside one of the South African contingent's military bases on Wednesday. The SANDF also added that an investigation into the incident will be conducted. Finally, in sports, Kwara United have confirmed the signing of 10 players during the mid-season transfer window. 2 of the new signed players are defenders. They are Gbademosi Olamilekan and Odobu Bernard. The trio of Dehinde Ibrahim, Nuruddin Omolaja, Daniel Momona, and Ahmed Yakubu are midfielders. The other players on the list are Oladipo Ridwan, Adeniji Adewale, and Alala De Wasiu. It will be recalled that the 10th player, Afiz Nosiru, was signed earlier in the window. Kwara United will begin the second round campaign against Sunshine Stars in Akure on Sunday, February 18th. And with that, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for news, programs, and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.